Yo, what's up, YouTube? Woo! Yeah! Today's 2018, which is the 31st. And we got one more year left until 2019. New Year's. Who's excited? Woo! Yeah! Alright. Now, before I start the video, I want to take the time to thank my loyal subscribers. I have 8 subscribers on my secondary channel. I got 58 subscribers on my first primary channel. So I want to say thank you, because without you guys, this would not be possible. It's because of you loyal subscribers that these videos are being made and produced. I know I haven't made any video in recent days because I've been working. I just started work back Saturday and Sunday. I did back to back. And I get 2 days off, and I got to go real strong on a Wednesday in the new year of 2019. Now, let me just say what my New Year resolutions are going to be. I know I'm not saying the word right, but I'm going to go ahead and say resolution or revelation, whatever you call them. I would say that in 2019, I intend to do more YouTube videos, which I have a new series coming out. I'm going to do one video today and one video tomorrow. It's going to be my self-improvement series, where I'm going to go in the full depth and the math and science of self-improvement. A lot of guys have been coming to my comment section talking about they want me to make more videos on how to help them with the opposite sex, so I intend to do that. I also intend to save more money, spend less money, get a second job so I can try to get 2 jobs. I don't know how I'm going to pull it off. I tried to get 2 jobs this year, but my employers from my first job kept on whining and complaining, and they thought I stabbed them in the back like a supervillain and shit, which that wasn't the case. And I'm going to try my best to get my driver's license, because there's a lot of people whining and complaining and getting on my nerves. But we're gonna try to see if we can get the driver's license and see if we can get a car by the end of the year. I can't guarantee if I can get a car during summer, but maybe at the end of 2019, we'd be driving behind the wheel of a car. And if it happens, that's a big, big, big if, I might do videos inside the car. And not least, but most of all, try to make a fully fledged movie channel that only talks about movies. I made another channel, but apparently I didn't know that when you go on YouTube and you put the word sports, it only does sports videos only. So I'm gonna make a movie/television channel and talk about some movie reviews, television reviews, you know, that way, so that when people ask me what I think about shows like The Flash and The Arrow, you get my TV review, you get my movie review, and we'll see what happens. About an anime channel. Yeah, I have lots of ideas, and I'm going to take my versus battles from my flash drive and put them on YouTube. I mean, I got them on Minds.com, but it seems like nobody really goes to Minds.com to watch my fights. I mean, there are people that watch them, but there could be more. So I'm going to take those same recording fights from the first 7 seasons and put them on YouTube and see what actually happens. So look out for that in the near future. Now, with no further ado, let's get to the video, shall we? This video is going to be Sex Talk, either episode 28 or episode 29, and it's going to be called Pump and Dump. I'm going to say it again. Pump and Dump. Now, you've heard this term your whole entire life. You heard this when you was in junior high, high school, college, at work, in the gym, the movie theater, on the road, at a restaurant, on a road trip, everywhere you go, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, you've heard the word pump and dump. Now, you might have gone on YouTube and searched it, and you found out that Tom Likas has made like over 50 videos of it. Sandman has made 25 videos of it. Angry Midtown. There's a bald-headed Australian guy that drives a car that makes videos, and he talks about pump and dump. And I'm sure Solo TV 84, O'Shea Duke Jackson, Ringo TV Raw. I mean, there's a lot of names. I can go on and on and on. And now I'm going to talk about the math and the science of pump and dump. See, everyone just talks about the sex part, but nobody really tries to explain what causes a man who has his life together. That's how civilized people say it. People who love to put their own little spin on it say, when you get your shit together, no one can seem to figure out what would possess a man to finally, after all these years of not having a girlfriend or not having a wife, all of a sudden when he finally gets the girl that he always ever wanted, for whatever reason, he just dumps her. I mean, he gets her, falls in love with her, he has sex with her, and then it's bye-bye, see you later. No one seems to come up with no answers to why that is. And me and Zach Deloney, who's a YouTuber, he always keeps asking me, well, why can't you just ignore the woman instead of having to resort to petty nonsense? Yeah, to you, it's petty nonsense, Zach Deloney. It's petty. It's childish. To me and grown-ass men, it's not childish and it's not petty. And I'm going to give you 5 reasons why it's not. I'm going to explain to you and other men like you who don't understand the phenomenon of pump and dump. See, when you self-improve yourself, when you actually accomplish everything that there is to accomplish, I'm talking about you accomplish everything. You get a house, not an apartment, or in this case, either a house or an apartment. You get a car. You make money. You either have your own company, your own private business. You got the clothes, the money, the looks, the status. When you have it all and you have done it all, now there is some self-entitlement and sentiment that you want to look back at your career and say, I have done every single thing on this resume except for one thing. I have not settled down with a woman to have kids yet. And you see, you get to a point where you've put in all this hard work and dedication. And you didn't just put in the hard work and dedication. You did this for years and years and years. I mean, you did this for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. In some extreme circumstances, 25 to 30 years, you put in all this hard work and dedication. And what do you have to show for it back in return? What happens when you do that and you ask for one thing back in return? And what do you get back in return for all that hard work and dedication, for all your efforts, for going above and beyond, for exceeding everyone's expectations, high, unrealistic expectations? You get women, well, I'll just show it to you. You get this. Hold on. You get that. Women who hit the wall. And that's very rude and disrespectful. No man who self-improves himself deserves to get cheated out of a golden opportunity. I'm going to say it in a way for men who don't understand the math and science, the phenomenon of pump and dump. How would you feel that your grandma bought a slice of apple pie from the store and your mom or your grandma and everyone else in the house gets a slice of apple pie, all except for you? You don't get one on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Calypso, Oregon. Yeah, O'Shea Duke Jackson. It's some good shit. I'm going to take the slogan. I'm going to borrow it. It's some good shit. Calypso, Oregon. You don't get no slice of apple pie for 6 days. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. Yes, I'm doing LeBron James. Not 6, but for 6 to 7 days, you don't get a slice of apple pie. Now imagine those 6 days or those 7 days turn into 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. You don't get a slice of apple pie. But you get a house, here go a slice of apple pie. You get a car, here comes another slice of apple pie. You got money, here comes another slice of apple pie. So that's 3 slices of apple pie. You got status, here comes a 4th slice of apple pie. You got looks, here comes another slice of apple pie. All of a sudden, you're getting 5, 6 slices of apple pie. All of a sudden, from out of nowhere. Problem is, when you get the slices of apple pie, it's 10 years later. It's 15 years later. It's 20 years later. And in some extreme circumstances, it's 25 to 30 years later that you get the slices of apple pie. That just blew a lot of you guys' minds, didn't it? It just blew your mind. Guess what? What man wants to get cheated out of a golden opportunity? I'm going to give you another analogy. How about you go to work and you work at a company for 10 years. And all of a sudden this guy graduates from college, comes to your company, and he gets a promotion. But he ain't even worked for 10 years. He just comes right in and he gets promoted in 6 months. You've been at a company for 10 years, but you never get promoted. Now, who got cheated out of a golden opportunity? The guy that's been working there for 10 years. The guy who graduated from college and comes right in and only been working there for 6 months, he got promoted over that guy. But you've been there for 10 years and you get cheated out of a golden opportunity. Now, if you take that concept into life, what do you get? Women. How many? Raise your hands. Like, no, seriously, we're in class. We're in high school. We're in class. Raise your hands. Like, actually, raise your hands in the video. How many times have you had the hots for women in high school and college that were the most popular women, the most physically, sexually attractive women, and you got rejected 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got rejected 11 times. Every single time you spat game, you got rejected. How many times you were told, well, I can't talk to you because you don't play basketball and football. Or I can't talk to you because you're not a criminal degenerate. You don't gangbang. You don't rob liquor stores. You don't rob banks. You don't shoot up the neighborhood. How many times have you been told that? Your whole entire life, right? And how many times have you been told by a woman, I'm not interested in you. I don't like you like that. How many times you've been told that? What? 100 times, right? Well, what happens when those same women that you were trying to holler at in high school and college come back 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, 25 to 30 years later? I made a YouTube video like 6 months ago called The Women Who Say They Don't Like You Do Come Back. And in that video, I was talking about how a man is conflicted. There is a part of him that wants to have sex with the girl, and there's a part of him that wants to knock her head off. And I advise you go watch that YouTube video first and then come back and watch this one. This one's going to be talking about how the man gets to pump and dump the girl. Now, take your notebook paper out and write this shit down, because what I'm about to say, this information is very, very important. This is something you don't want to miss. Because when I make the rest of these self-improvement videos in 2019, the gravy train is going to move so fast and so quick, I'm not slowing down the lesson plans. It's like when you're in high school, your math teacher and English teacher don't want to waste too much time on one subject. They want to get to the next important subject. So get with the notebook and the pen. Take some notes down. We're in class. Now, when you start to notice women coming in your direction, it's between the ages of 30 to 35 years of age. Now, the women that are coming after you, and this is the shocking and terrible and disappointing truth you've ever heard. You're getting women past their prime, past their sexual V market coming after you. You're getting women that's old enough to be your father and your grandfather's age chasing you. That's the first set of women that have hit the wall. The second set of women that have hit the wall are women you've been trying to spend your whole entire life trying to get with in high school and college. They come after you. Now, the third set of women are women that you're trying to associate with as of right now. Women that you see in work, you see at the gym, you see at the store, the movie theater. Women you see when you walk the streets. And they blow you off. They get the roll in their eyes. They got the stank attitude and shit. So there's 3 sets of women. And guess what? All women get old. All women get fat and out of shape. All women go from beautiful and attractive to ugly as fuck. Translation, all women hit the wall at some point in life. No matter how you slice it or dice it, no matter what you think of, no matter what scenario you come up with, you get the worst type of woman. You remember Britney Spears? You know, pop star back in the day? Instead of getting skinny Britney, you get fat Britney. Instead of getting skinny Christina, you get fat Christine. Remember, there was this actress from 30 years ago named Christy Allen. And Christy Allen was a very talented actress. She could act in television and film. Like, this woman had a lot of talent. She could play 2 sets of characters in a romantic comedy movie. That's how good of an actress Christy Allen was. But as time went on, she hit the wall and she ballooned to 300 pounds. And she tried to make a television show saying, I'm fat, accept it. Except for one problem. Men don't accept this shit. Now, let's take this part of Zach saying, why can't you just ignore them? I'm about to explain to Zach and guys like Zach why that doesn't work, why that logic does not work, why it fails. You ever ask yourself that when you get a car, how do some people find out that you have a car and you never told? Try to think about this. Let's say you get a car, right? And not just any piece of shit. Let's say you actually get an Lexus. And it costs you $20,000. I'm just saying. And let's say you've never told your friends. You didn't tell your mom. You didn't tell your dad. You didn't tell nobody shit. But somehow, some way, the girl that you got rejected by from 10 years ago, 15 years ago in high school and college, she found out you driving a car. And you trying to figure out in your head, if I ain't told my mother, my grandmother, if I ain't told my father or my grandfather, and I ain't told none of my co-workers that I have a car, out of all the people that I've never told that I have a car, how do you know I have a car? How about this one? You get a house. I ain't never told nobody that I got a house. Somehow, some way, the girl at your job found out you got a house. And you're like, I ain't told nobody at work that I got a house. So now you got 2 girls chasing you. How about this? You get your own private company, your own private business. I ain't told nobody that I'm trying to go from having a regular 9-to-5 job to being my own boss. But somehow, some way, girl number 3 finds out. How about this one? How about somebody call your phone? I ain't never gave my phone number out to nobody. So how in the hell does the girl that I got rejected by 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, got my phone number? She got my cell phone number. I buy two cell phones. She got both of my cell phone numbers. And she got my house number. But I never gave those numbers out. So how did she get them? Oh, yeah. See, when you say stuff like, why can't you just ignore the girl? You can only do that for so long, and you can only get away with that for so long. You can go 6 months, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 months getting away with ignoring a girl. Hell, you're lucky if you can get away with it for 4 years of ignoring a girl. But somewhere in year number 5, year number 6, year number 7, she's going to find out stuff that you don't want her to find out. She'll even find out if you are married and you have wife and kids. You go, well, I don't have a Facebook. To me, it don't matter if you have a Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram. Somehow, some way, the girl that you got rejected by finds this information out. So you go, how you find out? And the girl starts laughing. I can't tell you that. That's the first strike against a girl. That's one of the reasons why the girl gets pumped and dumped. You're finding out information when I don't want it to be disclosed in public. Number two, she stalks you. You come home from the gym, she follow you home. Every time you go to the gym, she go to the gym. And you go to the most expensive ass gym that you can go to, and somehow you find out she got access to the gym. And it don't matter if she have a gym membership or if she don't. But you work out, she work out. You go to work in the area, and surprise, surprise, she work in the area too. And you trying to figure out, everywhere I go, she show up. You're being stalked. You try to get on an airplane and go to another state to go visit friends and family. And guess what? She got friends and family in the same city and state. It doesn't matter if she's telling the truth or if she's lying. That's 3 reasons why the girl gets pumped and dumped. See, pump and dump's not about sex. Pump and dump's not about falling in love. Pump and dump is the principle of respect. It means that if you didn't want me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or 20 years ago, or in extreme circumstances 25 to 30 years ago, why are you trying to holler at me now? And you see, the women that have hit the wall, a lot of these women come after you when they're in the worst condition that you can get. How would you feel if somebody, for your 25th birthday or your 30th birthday, gave you a car? But they didn't just give you a car, they gave you a piece of shit ass car that you gotta pump in thousands of dollars to fix up and make look good. Well, how would you feel that instead of getting you a skinny chick from your high school days or your college days, you get a girl that's 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds? That's being cheated out of a golden opportunity every single time. And it ain't just one girl that you're getting a slice of apple pie from. You're getting 10 girls that are giving you slices of apple pie. Problem is, it ain't got no flavor. It tastes bad. It's stale. And you're shaking your head like, I don't deserve this. I put in too much work into myself to get something back in return that's bad quality. That's like going to the 99-cent store and buying something and then complain that the quality's terrible. Now, if you go to a Best Buy or you go to a Target and you buy something called Beats by Dr. Dre, that's the best quality in the world, right? Versus some bullshit quality at 99-cent store, right? Well, you don't want to get a woman that's 99 cent. You want to get a woman that's Beats by Dr. Dre, right? You want the best of the best. And when you work your ass off, you don't work your ass off for 99 cent. You work your ass off for the best of the best. And when you get cheated out of a golden opportunity, well, that's disrespect. That's like someone slapping you in the face. That's like someone taking mud and throwing it on your face. That's like when it rains and you're at a bus stop and a car drives by and all the water hits you in the face like, ba-bow. It's a sign of disrespect. Pump and dump has nothing to do with falling in love and having sex. It is the principle of respect. When someone puts in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years of hard work into themselves and you get cheated out of a golden opportunity, most men take it very personal. And most men do not like women when they do that. See, women give the best version of themselves to criminal degenerates and give the worst version to a man who actually puts work into himself. So when you do see a guy that's a basketball player, a football player, basketball player, a football player, a baseball player, when you see athletes in pro sports, college sports and pro sports, 1 minute you see a guy with a supermodel, and then 3 days later you see a guy having sex with a girl that's 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds, And then he don't call her for 5 months, 6, 7, 8, 9 months, 10 months. The woman could be from the ages of 35 to 65. So the girl could be 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65 years old. So the woman could be between the ages of 35 to 65 years old. And the same thing happens to women that are old enough to be your mother and your grandmother. Men will take these women out to lunch and dinner. Men will have sex with these women. And then these men don't call these women for 6 months, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. And the woman stands by the phone like an idiot moron, thinking that he's going to call back. And men do this to women who are fat and out of shape, too old and ugly. You notice they don't do it to women that they find physically, sexually attractive. They don't do it to women that are supermodels, fitness models, booty models, actresses, the cheerleader, the news lady. They don't do it to those beautiful, attractive women, because those women they have respect for. But the women that are 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds, yes, I said it, 500 pounds, they do that to. Women that's in their late 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, that's who they do that to. And the men have rules. You're fat and out of shape, you get pumped and dumped. You're too old, you get pumped and dumped. You're ugly, you get pumped and dumped. If you're a broke woman that's poor and off the street, you're going to get pumped and dumped. You got kids, you get pumped and dumped. And you see, that's what you're supposed to do as a man. Now, some men might say, but that's wrong. Well, when a woman rejects you and come back to you 10 years later or 15 years later or 20 years later, that's wrong. Because you don't want these women coming back to you in the worst version of themselves. Yeah, it's a lot to sit down and think about now, isn't it? And you see, it ain't just athletes doing this. It's men of all walks of life that's doing this. You got some black men, some white men, some Latino men. You got some Asian men who don't like this bullshit of women coming back to them when they become the best version of themselves. And you see, this reveals that these women are delusional, that these women are stupid, that they watch too much television, too many Hollywood movies, and they're too obsessed with social media. Because these are the women that fucked up in life. These are the women that come back to you and say, well, I fucked up, now I want you. And you get that knock at the door. When you get that knock at the door at 12 o'clock at midnight, when you get that, that's when you know you're being cheated out of a golden opportunity. And to me, that's not fair. I don't think it's fair that you should put in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years into yourself, and then all you have to show for it is you get 99 cents back. That's rude and disrespectful. And you see, if a man tries to argue this point, then that means you must love and adore the fuckery. So you got to sit down and think about this shit. I mean, I'm trying to explain the math and the science and the phenomenon. You got film directors who do this. You got film producers. You got music producers. You got men with their own business, their own private company that does pump and dump. Remember Tom Brady, the professional football player? Remember Tom Brady from the New England Patriots, the #1 football team in America that everybody loves to hate? Yeah, he did a variation of pump and dump too. Remember when he was 25 years old and he had to date a woman that was between the ages of 30 to 35? And then right in the middle of her 36th birthday, he dumped her for a Brazilian supermodel. Remember? Yeah, he did a variation of pump and dump. And you know what the sports media called Tom Brady? An asshole. Who's another person that likes to do a variation of pump and dump? George Clooney, right? He'll date a woman 23, 24, 25, 26 years old. And by the time the woman gets 30, 31, 32, it's bye-bye, see you later. He does a variation of pump and dump too. And I don't see nobody coming up to George Clooney saying, why you do that woman like that? Yeah, so People need to sit down and actually open their brains and think. What is more wrong is women telling you, come back to me when you get a house and a car. Come back to me when you get your stuff together. And then these women stalk you. When you're being stalked, that's when you know you've done something correct. You know how they say, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't doing nothing correct? Well, if women ain't chasing you, if women ain't stalking you, then your game ain't on tight. So I hope this explains the phenomenon of pump and dump. Until then, peace.